Welcome to the Lonzo Bass Show. Good night, good night, good night. And tonight's special guest, we have a media and radio personality, DJ, and of course, artist. Let me say anything, DJ, radio personality. An artist himself. You know him as his official name is Adrian Hackshaw, or you know him as Bass. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you, man. Thanks for having me.
How's everything, man?
Yeah, everything is good.
Nice. All right, so let's start from the top, man, because your resume is very extensive. You've been in the game a long time. We want to talk about the age. You know, you're a veteran, angle, as we would say.
I ain't sure my age. I just turned 50.
Okay, congratulations.
I just like Marshall and all that. Yeah.
All right, well, welcome. I would say welcome. Congratulations. I'm right behind you.
Yeah.
So where you from originally? Born and raised?
I was born I think I was born in Port of Spain General Hospital on the west side, Trinidad and Tobago, of course. Started growing up in Curep, a place called Curep. Then moved to Barataria. Then most of my life and most of my younger years into teenage years was in Mover. Poinsettia Drive in Mover.
Okay. So mostly on the east coast, east-west corridor. All right, nice.
Yeah.
What was it? Yeah, so you pretty much grew up in Mover. Yeah. What was it like growing up in Mover in them days?
In those days, Mover was nice. Mover was nice, man. Mover was community. Of course, being a young guy, I always wanted to be a DJ. So Mover is the home of, if you know some of the legendary DJs, Dr. Hyde, King Papa Rocky. You know, a real nice community there. We used to have a big thing in the Mover Savannah. We used to have freakos in the Mover Savannah. I used to go there. I used to run away sometimes and go there. Like I said, I always wanted to be a DJ. So I was always amongst music, you know what I mean? You would pass. That was in the early days of the dub style era. You would hear the maxis playing the dub, that kind of thing. So it was fun growing up in them days, you know?
Yeah, but them days, early days, you mentioned dub style. I mean, Dr. Hyde, you couldn't go in a maxi without hearing Dr. Hyde. If you jump in a maxi, or Star Child or one of them fellas, you know.
Right, yeah, man. Yeah, those are the guys. Man.
So you grew up close to Dr. Hyde, his residence?
Yeah, Dr. Hyde wasn't too far from me. I mean, like a stone's throw away. I used to go to some of his parties and things. He used to have parties at Dr. Hyde residence. I was like on the other side, and he was like more on the avenue side, but it was, distance, like 5 minutes away.
All right, nice. So, what was your schooling like them days? What school you attended? Secondary school and so forth?
School. I went to Rosary Boys as primary school, and after I went to Trinity College. Okay. Trinity College as Mocha in Mocha Marval. You know. Yeah. And going to school was like school was like a, I ain't gonna lie, it was like a blue team. Like I said, I always wanted to do music, right? I was the guy beating on the desk, playing. I used to get a lot of, you talk too much in school. You're very talkative. And left school, I don't talking. So 2 days were happy days, were fun days. And like I said, sometimes I go to school with records in my bag, because I started buying and collecting records when I was like 8 or 9 years old.
Wow. Where you used to buy records from?
Reiner's record shop then. Reiner's, Ibrahim, Woolworth, you know.
Wow.
Reiner's was the main. Yeah. Real old school. There was a time when I was like 9 years, like I said, I was 9 years old. My mom sometimes would leave me in the record store, because Miss Diane Reiner, she died recently. So may she rest in peace. She used to put me up on the desk, and I was the guy. A lot of the big guys, DJs at the time, who would come to buy records, used to look forward to the little chubby boy who would tell them what records to buy, because somehow I would always know all the hits. They used to be real impressed with this little boy playing the music and playing the song, and buy this. And then after that, I would get a free 45, one of these small records, a free 45. If you look in the back there, I still kind of have my record collection. Let me take you show you a record collection. We still got records here.
Okay.
Record collection, Still got my record collection,
That's somebody know what that is,
Yeah, the guys, easy. You put 2 turntables and some records in front of them, they don't know what the hell to do. You know?
Yeah, those are the good old days, man. The good old days. All
Yeah.
right, so you pretty much
Mm.
grew up in a record shop. I could kind of relate to that as well, because I myself grew up in a record shop. My dad and my mom had a record shop over there in Arima, by
Okay.
Welcome area.
All right.
All right,
Mm.
so school days. How you got into the music like a profession? Like, I know you started radio first, right? No, you started DJing
Yeah,
first.
radio
Okay.
DJing. Yeah, DJing. I was DJing like when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
13, 14, DJing little parties around the area.
Yeah.
You know. I mean, well, Mover. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna get this story. Well, in Mover,
Yeah.
we formed a group. There was a group, right? I was
Mm,
walking on the road, and people used to see me walking on the road sometime with my records and stuff. And this guy
yeah.
asked me to join this DJ group, and we formed this DJ group. Right? So
Mm,
third base came because there were three of us, and there were
yeah.
some other guys in the group, and we used to play that kind of thing. You know? And
Yeah.
actually to join on be on radio. Well, third base was kind of like a nice young group, two guys, young group in the area.
Yeah.
Everybody knew us. We used to play for a lot of
Mm,
schools and stuff. And then when they was gonna join the first urban radio station in
yeah.
Trinidad called 98.9, that
Yeah.
was
Remember?
back in like 1992. Yeah,
Yeah.
1992, 93. I was
Yeah.
asked to join that, you know.
Mm,
And I joined 98.9. And from there, getting into music, I was asked to do music because too, bass was very popular. It was very, very popular. A lot
but
of young,
I don't want to.
um,
I don't want to speed past that because
yeah,
when I'm doing certain interviews, I really try to get the stories and things that people
right,
don't know. A
right,
lot of times,
yeah,
um, a lot of folks really don't know some of the history, and I really don't know
yeah, yeah,
a
yeah,
lot
of course.
of you who've been there, done that. They don't
Yeah, yeah,
understand when, like you mentioned, when that radio station first launched, it was nothing like it before. You know,
nothing like it. Urban radio, yeah,
it was not like it before, not like now, but back
yeah,
then I was like wow. I remember specifically when it happened. I was a
mm,
little used to
yeah,
the
yeah.
time in Far Rivers them days. Um,
Okay, okay.
yeah, how was it like when you get that call and say, hey, this is what we're doing and they want you on board? Well, give me a little backstory on that
Um,
whole scene.
Yeah, well, like I said, being a DJ, it was like a DJ on the
Yeah,
ground. Like how you would see some guys doing their thing and people will be popular on social media. Well,
yeah,
Third
yeah,
Base was very popular on the ground. And I
yeah,
played at this party at my same school, Trinity College, with Chinese Laundry, right?
yeah,
With Chinese Laundry and they. And like he seemed to be we're pretty impressed. And I started playing all about opportunities. Like I say, playing in schools. You couldn't have a school dance without Third Base in it.
yeah, yeah,
Can have a school dance without people. So the name was bubbling. The name was on the ground. There's
yeah,
these young guys still built it. They're pretty good. So a day I went into the Chinese Laundry had a record store too.
yeah,
So I went into the record store and he asked me to do a
yeah,
demo for the radio. So I came home. I had a lot of little equipment and stuff. But back in
yeah,
the days, we used to do our stuff with a lot of echo. Record
yeah,
with a lot of echo. So I remember I did a demo with a cassette with a lot of echo on it. And he said,
yeah,
"Nah, I can't do it with all that echo and do a
yeah,
proper demo." But anyway, he took me in anyway to meet Mr. Louis Lee Singh, who was the
mm,
CEO at the time of NBS, which was the parent station of the 98.9.
yeah,
That radio station about it. They really did an experiment first because I don't know if you remember 95. There was a station called 95,
mm-hmm.
and there was something called, I believe it was Radio After Dark, where from 12 midnight to
Yeah,
5 in the morning they had all the popular DJs. On
uh,
Monday, I believe they had Downtown Outlaws or Sean Camps.
yeah,
On
yeah,
Tuesday, they had I can't remember who they had. I think Tuesday they had Johnny Q.
yeah,
Wednesday they had no, Tuesday they had Dr. Hyde.
right,
Wednesday they had Johnny Q. Thursday they had Tweez, and Friday they had Chinese Laundry and Signal to Noise. Right?
right, right.
And that
Wow.
was so successful. That
Yeah,
showed them that listen, this urban radio thing could work. If that could be so popular from
yeah,
12 midnight till 5 in the morning, then that
yeah,
could work 24/7.
yeah,
Right?
yeah,
That's how 98.9 came to be the first urban radio station. Right? So I was asked to join that. I was the youngest guy at the time on radio. I was about 17, 18, just came out of school.
wow.
Right? And I remember my first night on the air. I was saying, well, real happy. This is Third Base. This is Third Base. Every minute I was saying, this Third Base. This Third Base. This Third Base. This Third Base.
people
They,
tell.
listen, you don't have to say your name so much, you know. People will know who you are. Don't worry, you know.
Right,
So it
right,
took me
right.
a while, and I the nice thing is I got to work with a lot of the greats. Some names like Ian the Goose Elegon,
And legend, man,
you
legend.
know Stanley, yeah, it's Stanley Augustus,
Yeah,
you know, who else was there? Paul Richards was there,
yeah,
Cheryl Villaran, and me listening to radio over the years because that's all I used to do as a young person listening to radio. I used to listen to Rennie B. If you remember
yeah,
Rennie B, he was
yeah. I
good, right?
remember school
Rennie
really.
B. Right? Rennie B, Billy Reese, Glenn Thunder, Glenn Antoine, all these
Yeah,
guys. So I was kind of like a sponge. I used to take a little thing from everybody because I never
yeah,
went to any radio school. There are a lot of
yeah,
radio schools now, but I didn't go to any radio school. I was just somebody that took off the street, urban
yeah.
radio, and just bam, put on radio, do your thing,
Mm,
you know? And I
yeah.
remember when I first went to meet Mr. Louis Leasing, I had dreads and stuff, believe it or not. And he
Okay.
was like, you sure this boy? Yeah, yeah, you sure this boy could do this, walk with his hair, boy? And I was in my mind thinking, well, what does my hair? Because back in the days, the radio announcer was real polished and used to wear tie and really clean shave like how I look now, you know? That was
Yeah,
the image of the radio announcer back in the day,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know? So I was
yeah.
like this young guy coming in dressed. I remember I even went into the interview with a shirt and a three-quarter pants, you know, kind of, but yeah, I was like rough off the streets, and I didn't even tell my grandmother that I was going for an interview. Otherwise, she would
Right.
have made me just a little better. But
Yeah,
come to shove, and then within a couple of months, within 2 months, that same Louis Leeson was asking, "Who's that guy working in the night?" Because I used to work from 12 midnight to the same 5 in the morning. That was a graveyard shift. That's where I started.
so you should do the whole.
And he was like, "Who's that guy?"
Your shift was
Yeah,
what?
yeah, that was it. That was the shift. 12
But you,
midnight. First, it started at 12 midnight till 5
yeah,
in the morning. 12
but
midnight till 5 in the morning. The graveyard shift.
you wasn't there till 5, were you?
Yeah.
You was.
Yeah, from 12 midnight
Mm,
12 midnight till 5 in the morning. And them days you're
yeah,
no on radio. You're glad to be on. You just glad to be on radio for all
we
those
never.
hours. You don't care.
Yeah,
They could have put me on radio whole day. I stayed on radio whole day. You know? So that was
yeah,
the graveyard shift. And that's where you got your training and stuff, you know. And believe it
yeah,
or not, people will listen. Because like
yeah.
I told you, the experiment before with all those bigger DJs, that was the time, 12 midnight till 5 in the morning. You
Right,
know?
right, right.
So after that 12 minutes, I did that for like about 2-3 months, and then I started to fill in for guys in the day. I started to fill in for the same Chinese laundry and fill in for Ian the Goose Elago after
Yeah,
2-3 months, just being on the air and learning,
yeah,
So
yeah.
that was my springboard to introduction to radio.
Mm, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's stay with the radio thing for a few. You've been in the
Yeah.
game once again, like I said, for a long time. You also worked
Mm-hmm.
in a number of other stations. You may have the record
Yeah,
for
yeah.
working in different
No,
stations.
no,
But
no. Just
yeah,
have that. Not me. Just Jace.
but we'll give you a
Yeah, not
second.
me.
Give you a second, please.
Yeah, for me second. Yeah, okay. Mm.
So, as far as radio, man, you did a lot of different segments, different formats. I would say, you did talk radio. You did.
Yeah. Still do talk radio.
Yeah. What's your favorite? I know you like music, but how you enjoy, or how would you compare, like when you was on Power, where it was mostly talk.
Mm-hmm.
How
Yeah.
would you compare the difference between the two different type of formats?
I like talk radio because talk
Yeah,
radio could actually deal with issues and help people. You could do
yeah,
that in a music driven station, but like let's say you're working on a morning show, you could
yeah,
touch on some issues and stuff. But really, things have changed so much now. People listen to the urban radio and the music driven station. This is just like they hear music and nonsense and kiki and kaka. And you can't
yeah,
be that, sometimes
yeah,
all that serious sometimes. So I
yeah,
like, but right now I do two different formats. I get to do the talk and I get
yeah,
to do the music. So
yeah,
it's a great thing. But when I was always on radio, I was always that guy who would try listening. Even though I'm doing music, I wanted
yeah,
to bring some sense because I come from a time where radio used to teach you something. You know what I mean? If
yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I totally
inform
understand.
and educate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
information. Yeah, the reason why I asked you that, man, because like I said, I've listened to you over the years, and just like you as one of them kids grew up in the early '90s, and we consume a lot of radio. I mean, TV was secondary. You might watch a movie here and there, but
Yeah.
we listen to radio morning,
Mhm.
noon, and night.
That's right. Yeah. Radio was it.
So when you look at some of the announcers now, or now it's different though. Now it's not just announcers; you got media personalities,
Yeah,
as you call it now.
exactly. Yeah. Now they're taking people off of TikTok and put them on radio.
One
Yeah.
thing with you, man, you've always been very outspoken over the years, and
Yeah. Mm.
you've gotten some hot water too. Um,
Mm.
like we said, when you look at the media personalities now, the radio, a lot of them, like you said, don't really have that foundation, um, like you and some of the other ones,
Yeah.
in the business.
Mm-hmm.
What's your take on that? You feel like they should have uh some type of media experience beforehand, before you
Well, I
know?
mean, I'll be lying if I said that because I never had any media experience. Remember, I told you I was straight out of school and put on radio. But
Yeah,
I did learn from, I had good teachers to learn from, and I
yeah,
wanted to learn. I was always a teacher, still learn. I still listen to a lot of people. I still listen to radio. I don't only listen to myself. I would still listen to other stations when I wake up in the morning. I listen to
yeah,
a morning show here, listen to different people. So I'm still a student, always a
yeah,
student. But now there are people just feel they know because they have a 20,000 K followers on TikTok or Instagram, and
yeah,
you can't tell them shit. You know,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
how
yeah,
it is. You know what I mean? So, but it did not. It's a different time now. The time of the personalities and the follower. There was a time when radio used to lead, but radio no longer leads. Radio
yeah,
right now emulates society. You see, like how
mm,
we have this thing called fully dance.
yeah,
So we
yeah,
have
yeah,
some fully dance. There are some fully dance people on radio. There's some people on radio who can't read. No, they're
yeah,
fully done. They're putting people on radio who can't read. So it kind of emulates the society, which is
yeah.
sad because at the end of the day, I have worked in stations personally where um, advertisers would complain, but how that man reading my script? This man cannot read my script. What's going on?
I like how you brought it up.
But he might be
I like,
very, he
mm-hmm,
might be very popular, but he can't read.
can't read, and I like
So
I like how you brought it up. That's very very important. I like how you brought it up because I'm not sure if you know as well. I myself have a background in radio. And a lot of times
right,
when I listen to the radio, you listen very attentively, and I hate when somebody reading a script and they're messing up the words, or they just cut the script short and laughing and joking. And I'm like, yo, somebody paid for this, man. You know,
exactly, yeah,
paid for
yeah.
this. So
Mm-hmm.
I definitely, yeah, I was the only person had a pet peeve about that, man. The guys messing up scripts
No,
and things.
that's a real thing. That's a real thing, man.
Yeah, I cannot blame the program directors too. You know,
But I'm not going to say that the program directors are playing program directors now. Just probably let people do what they want. Once the money coming in and the station advertising, unless somebody say, "Listen, I'm going to pull my advertising from you," that's the only time you will hear something. But unless the money is rolling, it's all good.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you were a DJ, media personality, and
Yeah.
what was that transition, or what was that moment? You say, you know what? I think I could write that song, and do a thing. When that happened?
Mm-hmm. Well, like I tell you, in school, I always used to be the desk and rap. I used to rap a lot. I always wanted to be a rapper. So I used to
Yeah,
rap. There was one time I went up for audition for Party Time. If you remember
yeah.
Party Time, there was a
You
real
you was
great show
a
we had back in the day.
you was a
Yeah,
bunch.
I auditioned to rap. Yeah, I auditioned to rap on Party Time. I ended up DJing on Party Time. I DJ for Party Time. But
Yes.
I auditioned to rap on Party Time. Yeah. I didn't make it really. I didn't make
Yeah,
it and not any rap, but I went to
yeah,
rap on for Party Time. But I used to rap on thing a lot, and so the artist thing was always I would say a general progression, easy
yeah,
progression. But I was really encouraged too because, like I tell you, at that time in the early 90s, a lot of young people were not into the soca at all,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
I used to do a show called Dance All Good to We,
yeah,
right? A lot of people blame myself for that because the dancer was very heavy, still very heavy in Trinidad and Tobago.
yeah,
So a lot of the young folks were just following dancehall, right?
yeah,
Beanie Man, Bounty Killer, you name it, that's who they was following, right?
yeah. I
So I
remember
was
that.
told, like, listen, yeah. So if you see a young guy like you doing it, maybe they would want to.
Yeah,
So my first song was a song called Juve Morning.
yeah.
Juve Morning, blow your whistle, knock your bottle, right?
Mm-hmm.
That became like a nice underground cult
Mm-hmm.
classic kind of thing.
Yeah,
And then after the year, I had Make Me Feel High. Right, that
yeah,
Make Me Feel High took off. Right, Chinese Laundry as well too. He was doing his thing too. He had short pants, Mona
yeah.
Lisa. So the
Even
both
around
of us,
around the
yeah,
same time.
around,
Yeah.
around the same time, yeah. Right. So
Yeah.
both of us, I mean, we weren't the best as singers or performers and stuff. But what it signal is that listen, if them two guys could do it, but who's
Yeah.
we by? We could do it too. So that introduced people like, Bungie Garlin, who was in Arima chanting and stuff, started to
Yeah.
do, soca. KMC started to do soca. I remember there was one time KMC was very upset and he met us downstairs and he wanted to, the
Well,
other
tell
thing,
me,
and because he used to do,
because
yeah, he used to do, huh?
I had KFC one a couple weeks ago, so he's very
Okay,
passionate.
okay, yeah,
Man. Yeah, so tell
very
me
passionate, good guy.
about
Right,
that
so he
story.
used to do dancehall. Yeah, he
Yeah.
used to do dancehall. KMC used to go to Jamaica. At them days, he had to go to Jamaica, press your records and stuff, So he used to go Jamaica and press the record, bring back his 45s and things. But he used to tell him, you're not sounding authentic. Beanie Man and them Jamaicans could do what they do. Why you don't try to do soca?
Yeah.
And he was like, boy, me no soca, boy, we don't doing soca, boy. Thing, man, real vex, no soca.
Yeah.
And
Like,
boy, I know what happened. I don't know what happened, but a year after, he did Bashment at Carnival, and that was it.
Yeah,
that was it.
What I remember, I think he told me his mother had told him why he didn't try soca, and I
You
think
see, when not only his mother, myself, Signal to Noise, a bunch of us put him down in a room and say, listen, why don't you try to do soca? You're not sounding like a Jamaican, you can't. Do some soca, but if his mother gets you, well, fine, thank you, mommy.
Yeah. I remember he mentioned his mom, and he said he remember when John Grant transitioned into what was that first soca he sang?
And soca make it ram.
Right. And when he realized, John Grant, back then John Grant was the man. I think that's when he.
John Grant was the man, yeah. John Grant was authentic with it,
Yeah.
And General Grant used to hang around a lot of Jamaicans too, because every time Supercat came down and this one came down, General Grant will be there with them. But General Grant was back in those days, they had the real authentic chanters, But those guys started to doing dance. So I was introduced to Destra as well too in 1999 and wrote that first song for Destra on the pigtail rhythm and stuff, So I was in the soca and writing and I kind of.
Yeah. So you're a writer as well.
Yeah, I write all my songs. I co-wrote on Carnival Bacchanal for Rocky. Right, wrote that song. Destra thing. I wrote all my songs. They make me feel high, and all those songs I wrote all my songs.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this question, man. As a DJ, or I would say as a media personality, a radio man, as we will call it, and an artist, do you find yourself situations where it's like a conflict of interest, so to speak? Because well,
yeah, I understand what you're saying, but it's no. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, no. But right now, you have men who would release a song. I heard that man release a song at time here on the radio. That man play a song for 15 minutes straight. 15 minutes straight and wheel it up. Now, I was always somebody, I could have never do that. Even when I had Make Me Feel High, it had artists used to tell me, boy, if I was on the radio with you, by playing my song about 3-4 times, boy. I say, but I can't do that. How I could do that? Because I was always cognizant of the fact that, listen, to other artists, this is their bread and butter. So I just can't take up the airways with my thing alone. You know what I'm saying? So I was always fair. Even though people were finding it a conflict of interest, we didn't understand at the time because people say feel it was because you're on radio, it's easy to play a song, the thing. All right, that might be the fact. But if you're in a band, it's easier to play a thing the same way, But I was always fair and balanced of other people's music. I never took advantage of my situation, But now there are certain things that are going on in the business, and it's it is seeming like a conflict of interest, I would say.
Yeah. It seemed like every media personality is an artist now.
Yeah.
When it's the radio, like everybody.
Everybody want to sing. I've stopped. I'm stopped singing. I'm not singing anymore.
Really?
I stopped. Yeah. I'm not singing anymore.
You retired?
Yeah.
Serious?
Officially, yeah. I know people say that before, but now really, it's ridiculous now. It's just a lot of reasons. Too much, It's the same. Yeah.
Wow.
And then you're the first person that I'm like, publicly in an interview saying this. I mean, well, I think I said it on radio before. I actually,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm done.
Wow. 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 You know what, man? You actually caught me by surprise. You actually caught me. You put
Yeah.
in the industry. The industry. See, out of the industry.
Yeah. I mean, but think about it. By now, I would have sent you some music and think I was
Yeah.
thing, but I'm done, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the reason for that? What was the reason behind that?
It's just the thing right now is, well, I mean, I know it's much more than the music. It's not about the music anymore. It was never about the music, but you have to have all additional things to the music. But right now is thing with this clique and who you're with, and there's some people deliberately would just not play your music no matter how good it is. I mean, I could have do what is the old match or this year the old match song, and they just would not even give your song a fair hearing.
Yeah.
Because you're not in this clique and not in this thing. And there are a lot of young DJs right now, and probably on the urban stations. And maybe if you don't connect with them in a certain kind of way. I mean, I'm not the kind of guy. I don't go to the club and buy bottles and thing and all that. I'm a kind of an introvert. You know what I mean? If I'm not working, I'm home. I'm thinking with family or whatever it is. So like if you're not thinking with these guys, hey, how you doing? Let me buy it. Let me buy that thing. It's like you know what I mean. So it's just a lot of BS to get your music. Too much BS to get your music played. Your good music played. I don't ask for any favors. All I ask for is fairness. That's all. Fairness. Like somebody would message me the song like today. I would listen to a song and say, hey, no, this song is good. People don't do that anymore. The song has to be, if your song ain't trending, they ain't playing it. Like DJs right now are not DJs to have an ear to say, this a song is a good song. This song could work.
Yeah.
But your song had to be trending, and you had to be listening to hear this one playing it and that one playing it and this one playing. I mean, like, come on. Yeah. What happened to a good song is a good song.
Yeah, it's a good song. Yeah. Wow. Does the Soca Mafia really exist? In your opinion?
Does the Soca Mafia really exist? Of course it does.
Yeah.
There's a main mafia and there's like little sub mafias. Right now it's like, it's like the gangs, there's a big mob and then there are little semi mobs, little gangs and stuff, little cliques. That's the thing. The thing is very cliquish, and you have to belong to this clique and this clique and that clique and cliques working on, little cliques and stuff. So I don't know the mafia word is a thing, but they're little cliques. The cliques.
Yeah, if you know where that clique is, you can get no forward.
If you know where this clique is, yeah. I mean, they're actually DJs with WhatsApp groups telling you who they're gonna play and who they're not gonna play. There are things like that. Yeah, telling you who they're gonna play, who they're not gonna play. You know what I mean? That kind of thing goes on.
Wow, that's crazy. What's some of the biggest misconceptions people have about you?
Biggest misconception that people have about me.
Yeah. Oh, you're here to the grapevine.
Yeah, what people? You could curse on this something.
Hey, real. The name of the tagline is "Real people, real conversations," man. So say what you feel.
Right, man. Yeah, man. Well, people say bass is an asshole. I might be if you're an asshole to me, I'll be an asshole to you. But I probably just give people the same energy they think me. I'm not that much. People might think I'm not approachable. I'm approachable, but I don't smile. There's some people always skinning and grinning and smiling. I'm not a smiley, skinny, grinny person. I'm a happy person, but I don't want to be smiling, skinny, grinning all over the place. I'm a serious guy. But just because I'm serious, I don't mean I'm not approachable. I'm not fun. I can make jokes. I can make people laugh like everybody else.
Yeah.
People just like people. I think people like fake. People like a lot of fake. When you're just real, people don't appreciate real people. But some of these people who skinny and laughing and smiley, they're some of the most deceitful people. Some of them, when they go home, they're depressed. But they're just putting on this face for people. I don't put on those face for anybody. I'm just me.
That's you.
That's it.
Real.
That's cool. Yeah, real.
The last time I saw you was a couple of years ago when you came to DC. I know you was here recently. I think it was out of town or whatnot, but you came to DC. Back then you had that big hit, Boom Boom.
Right, yeah, man. Stush in the bush.
Yeah, so I heard that was a true situation that happened to you.
Yeah, that was a true story. I went to a party with a young lady I was dating at the time. She got her new shoes, new high heel shoes. I say, "Miss, you sure you want to wear them high heel shoes, girl?"
Right.
You know? Yes, I wear the shoes. The shoes matching my outfit. I wear the shoes. You know them shoes that are breaking. I say, okay, go on with the shoes now. Right? Within 15 minutes of the party, she had to be sitting down by an ambulance. That to be rubbing her feet. I say, you mad? Yes, I go in and wine. Yeah, tell her I go in and wine. I go in and wine. Right? So I say, well, the song was a totally different song. But then I turn it around and say, well, let me work it out in this experience, you know. So I actually that song I actually sent a demo to a producer here in Trinidad. He told me it was nonsense.
Yeah.
I sent it to another producer in New York. He told me he ain't feeling it. But when I sent it to Red Boys, they say, yeah, boy, let me work on this. This song like some kind of Ronnie McIntosh kind of vibe. I just had to tweak it and show them money, but they felt it. And thank God they did, because it turned out how it turned out.
Yeah, man, that's big good. Yeah. Wow, that's amazing, you know. And I've heard this similar stories before with other artists. Where they create a song and they know the song have vibes, they know the song is a hit, but sometimes it's getting the right producer to put the finishing touches on it. And just like you said, if you're just going with the first person or the second person, you know, and say, you know what, might have a point. The song would have never took off.
The song would have never been. And that song, I like I tell you, the BS here that's how they go through. I mean, if you listen to the music of now, everybody going back to this old school now.
Yeah.
Right? If you listen to the music, everybody going back to the old school, back to horns, everything, the melody, storyline, thing, this, that. When I did that song, they was telling me, but that song into old, boy. That song in old.
Yeah.
Kind of old thing is that? I had was to take that song. I took that song on a flash drive, and this is how I have been promoting my music for the past since 2016, past couple of years. I took that song on a flash drive, and I gave it to everybody on the same east-west corridor from me, Port of Spain to Arima to Grandi, from Port of Spain to Chaguanas to South. I gave that song to every DJ on the ground in every little bar on a flash drive, like doing my own street promotion with it. And that is how that song got to be.
Wow.
On the ground. The ground made that song.
Who did the video for that song? I know you had the video. And
the video was done. The video on that song was done by Mr. King. His name Madhouse from Madhouse here, Mr. King.
Yeah.
Mr.
Nice. All right, so let's fast forward. Obviously, currently there's a big I don't know the word controversy or a big piece of bacchanal. You voice your opinion on it as well, with the whole Vibes Cartel and the Carnival. And you know, and dancehall and carnival. I think you made a post. Two, if I remember correctly, you said 2 radio stations dedicated to calypso.
3.
Three. Oh, sorry, 3. My mistake. 3 radios. How did you finish it? I think it was 3 stations and a couple of platforms that were dedicated to the culture. No one really supported it, but now everybody.
Nothing. I said nothing.
Now all of a sudden, we're trying to defend this whole dancehall intrusion into soca. So I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you 2 full questions. I'm going to ask you, what's your opinion of dancehall being played, or dancehall / reggae being played during carnival time, and do you believe it should be played at all in carnival season? And then we're going to talk about the Vibes Cartel part day after.
Yeah, well, if we were patriotic as we should be, maybe not. It shouldn't be. I've seen a lot of people complaining out there. I mean, outside in New York and stuff. Like you say, New York Labor Day, where you have Haitians, you have Jamaican, you have Trinidad and stuff. I could understand it because that's the Caribbean, street festival outside there. But in Trinidad and Tobago, if we were as patriotic as we should be, maybe not, because I'm sure if Jamaica Sumfest, when they have the Sumfest or Reggae Fest or Sunsplash or whatever, you would not be hearing any soca at all. No, probably it's been happening for years, and nobody, like I said, nobody said anything about it. Our biggest artist, the King of Soca, he brings down people for his show, even though that show would still be focused around him and soca, right? He's still been bringing on international artists. We have had Soca Monarch. Beanie Man came down for Soca Monarch, and there are tons of artists who keep bringing these Jamaicans. I don't know. People. I don't know if people would see it as they feel like we're not good enough or strong enough, or we can't bring out the numbers enough, that we always need to piggyback or pull. I don't know what it is, but like I said, the convenient patriotism. This is my thing with it. The convenient patriotism, because we have had 3 radio stations that have shut down because of lack of support and listenership that was dedicated to the same soca, calypso, steel pan, our culture. Those radio stations right now, they're playing Miley Cyrus and Backstreet Boys, and thing. But and doing other, they had to also go to other formats, right? Because they weren't getting the support. So why didn't you say something then? DJs have been playing dancehall in soca fets. They have promoters who wouldn't say, because I believe that's what the youths want to hear. And the youths right now, they're into the zest and the Trinidad and stuff. You can't take it away from them. They're into it. So
so you have no as far as Vibes Cartel coming for Carnival, what's your opinion on that?
Vibes Cartel coming for a show, to me, is not they color it as the what is it, One Caribbean Music Festival. They say it's gonna have other soca artists on it. I think people just fear what might happen on the night for the promoters, because everybody might want to go to that show, everybody might want to save their money for that show and stuff. But it's left to be seen. Vibes Cartel has a show. People forget Vibes Cartel has a show to do in December 31st in Jamaica. And according to how he does that show, he performs in that show, that's going to determine everything else that happens. Suppose he doesn't perform well on that show, just suppose, and the word gets out. Word gets out here very fast about what's going on that show. Hopefully he does. It's left to be seen what's gonna happen. But really and truly, people talking about, I don't think that's really a show for the really youths so much, because the youths are right now listening to Skeng, Skillibeng, Valiant, 450, and Shensia. Cartel is more our generation and younger, like our generation, people from late 20s, 35, 38, more adult audience and that kind of thing. But people have choices. Let's see how patriotic Trinis really are. Because I'm sure if it was Barbados, Antigua, Grenada, St. Lucia, and that happening on the night, and it have other local shows on the night, those people would go to that local show. Right? So let's see if Trinis can really put their money where their mouth is, or put their mind where the cult is, and let's see what will happen.
Fair enough. You mentioned Soca Monarch. I believe, if I stand to be corrected, they're actually bringing Soca Monarch back. Am I correct on that?
Well, I'm not sure. I've heard that. It's been tried, but who are bringing it back? If it's them bringing it back, Soca Monarch is a nice thing. But there's been a great thing. It's done a lot for a lot of people. I always believe that Soca Monarch could have done so much more for our music. For example, instead of just getting somebody $2 million to buy an X-Benz or a Range Rover, and we could have taken that money and invest in the marketing of our music. Right? On the night, let's produce an album with all the artists and get it barcoded properly, and let people actually know what this soca music is about and market it properly. And I could have done a lot more for the music to reach where it had to reach today. But if it's Soca Monarch coming back, fine. A lot of people looking forward to it.
I think Soca Monarch, I think, like you mentioned, bad management over the years. And I really think it should be the platform to promote and market soca music, if it's done correctly.
Well, first of all, I think we should have never done away from the word calypso. I think we need to go back, going back to that word calypso. I know people, you could say the word calypso anywhere in the world, people will know calypso. A lot of people don't know what the hell soca is. Right? If you it has to do with marketing. If you close your eyes and you think of reggae, you would see, you think of Bob Marley, the Jamaican, with a spliff in his mouth. You think of rock and roll, you would think of the white guy with wherever it is, the popping, with cocaine or whatever. You think of EDM, you think of the same thing with every music has an image and a vice. We've been had that image and a vice. Our vice is rum and Coca-Cola, which is old, calypso. And of course, I do expect the artists of now, but my point is, when you close your eyes and think about soca artists, what does a soca artist look like? A soca artist look like a reggae artist, a rock artist, a urban artist, a hip hop artist, a EDM
Yeah.
artist, everything.
Mm,
What does a soca artist really look like? I think we need to go back to that little hat and coconut shirt that like Bruno Mars, what Bruno
yeah.
Mars has been doing. I think
Yeah.
right. I think Kez is one of the perfect person to really take us to where we need to go. I always say there's a female. It should be a female as well too to take
Yeah.
our music. Or we have a sexy kind of music. Should be a
Yeah.
female. Maybe she's not there, but it's really marketing. What does a soca artist look like? But I think if we go back to the word calypso,
Yeah.
that could be a major marketing force, and we could actually get on the Billboard chart or that kind of thing. That would as well.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, man. You mentioned Kiss, and had this conversation before. I think Kiss has what it really takes to put soca slash or calypso slash soca
Mm.
on a mainstream level. You know, he speaks well. He
Yeah,
has
man.
his music is very palatable.
Yeah,
It's
relatable, marketable. Yeah. He's like the Bob Marley. I think he's like the Bob Marley of the genre. Like when
yeah,
Chris Blackwell took Bob Marley and made him
yeah,
who he is, he's like the Bob Marley. You know?
yeah,
One thing I disappointed him when he got a great opportunity with Shaggy and with Sting out there.
yeah,
But everywhere you go, you see Shaggy. You will see Shaggy with his Jamaican flag. Every time you see Shaggy out there, you will see Shaggy with his Jamaican flag. And I was like, yes, where's your Trinidad and Tobago flag?
yeah, yeah,
You know?
yeah,
So that's all. But other than that, yeah, I think he could be the one.
yeah.
His song right now, the Coco T is doing very well on the iTunes chart, I believe. So in terms of sales and really doing what it is, because at the end of the day, it is a business. It is a game to be sold and not to be told. So
Yeah.
that song is doing well. You know?
Yeah, true. Also Nana Blackman. I think Nana Blackman has what it takes to, she has that kind of pop
Mm.
feel, pop look, but
Yeah.
it's
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, she could be the one, but you're trying to. I don't think they know what to do with her because
yeah,
she signed to that Republic label out there, and they she did a song, and it sounds like Tyler Water,
mm,
right? So I mean, then you're putting her in that Afrobeat kind of zone. She's not an
yeah,
Afrobeat artist,
yeah,
and again, that is because nobody knows the soca and what soca is and what is actually the sound of soca. I mean, I've been out there, I played out there. I remember back in 2000 when we had Turn Me On and Tempted to Touch.
yeah,
The white folk will come up and say, "Can you play that reggae song?
yeah,
Turn me on. Can you play that? Can you play that reggae song, Tempted to Touch?"
yeah. That's
So
a
after
good
all
point.
these years, we have not
Yes,
defined our song.
yeah, yeah. That is so true, man. People
Mm.
still tempted to touch and Kevin to turn me on. A lot of times, yeah,
Turn me
people
on, yeah.
falls under the reggae thing. You spent some time in the US as well, did you?
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course, yeah.
yeah. What was that like for you? That was what, your early days of radio?
That was I left Trinidad. I left Trinidad in 2000.
Yeah,
Right, 2000. I had the opportunity to be in the US.
yeah.
I had a great opportunity. I had a great opportunity at Hot 97 as well too. Because there
Okay.
was one time I went to this record store. I saw Bobby Condas, right? Bobby Condas, Jabba Massive B.
Yeah,
Right.
no worries.
So I saw Bobby at this record store and I asked Bobby, why you always playing these old soca songs? Why you always playing? It's 2000. You're still playing in nothing but a teaser and Tiny Whiny. You were still playing my song, Make Me Feel High, that kind of thing from 90s. So I said, why you always playing the old songs? He said, well, we don't get the record, He said Julian Williams, who was the distributor, JW Records at the time, because Bobby was say he gets my music from, the guys get free copies from. He was getting free music from Bad Boy and at Atlantic Records and Def Jam and all the Jamaican things. He said, why are you going and buy soca music for? Because JW wanted him to buy music. So when I hear that, I went down to JW Records on Church Avenue one time and I say, boy, what the hell you doing, boy? We have an opportunity here for our music to be heard on a mainstream market. You want this man to buy music? I cuss him up, right? But his son now pulled me in the corner and say, all right, this out. Start up when you come, take records, So I used to take 2 records of each and go to Hot 97 and give it to Bobby Condas. And then he told me, well, since you know the music, you started to play it. So I started to play the music. That is when their show was at 5 to 7 on the reggae tip, and they would do a little soca thing at them, because I mean they're playing for the Caribbean audience.
Yeah,
So they
yeah,
would do a little soca set, a little 50. The other guy called Ricky Indian used to play for them. He was from Trinidad, right?
yeah,
But they say because you know the music, you play it. And I
yeah.
used to play the music and thing. And you know what happened? Them bad mind DJs from New York. Bad mind DJs from New York started to call Bobby Condas and say, but wait now, till bass no reach up here. How we on the radio and thing? How we can't get the thing? Started
Yeah,
calling man, until he say, well, by base them fellas on my case by thing.
yeah,
Let them send
yeah,
it down. But then they say, all right, all of them can't come up to play because, you know. So he said, let them send a little tape, a little DAT tape, a mix and a DAT tape. And
yeah.
there was
Wow.
one time, one of them sent a mix and a DAT tape, and the DAT tape stuck.
Mm,
It stuck. And that is New York radio. It stuck for
yeah,
like 5 seconds. So 5 seconds on New York radio is like $1 million.
yeah, yeah.
And then after that, the program director
Yeah,
said, listen, if this guy who playing here cannot come and play, don't let none of this thing, because we cannot afford to have this thing playing and stuff. So I
yeah,
started the thing where I play, give the music and play the music from them and stuff. And then, well, I did have an opportunity to actually, kind of move up with Hot 97, but then 9/11 happened, and that
yeah,
kind of,
yeah.
yeah,
Change things.
change a bit.
Wow, that's interesting. I mean, a lot of people don't know that story. I heard about this, but I didn't have the details about it.
Mm.
But
Great
so
story. Yeah, man.
what's that again, man? You number two behind Just Jace with the radio thing, the different stations.
Yeah, but he had a Hot 97 on me, yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, I wasn't working, but it was an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And that was the dream. And when I left Trinidad, that was my dream to be on Hot 97. That's my dream.
yeah. Nice, 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 nice. Well, so what's going on now, man? Now you hit me with that news here about you retired from the artist side of
Hmm. Yeah.
music.
Well, I
What you
mean,
got?
I
What you
work
looking?
on 2 stations. Yeah, I work on 2 stations now. I'm part of the Guardian Media Limited station
Yeah,
now. I work on a station called Vibe City 105, where I do the music and stuff. More
yeah,
adult, contemporary, 90s, old school, my kind of time. We can have music now.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Old school. And I also do talk radio. There's a station called Freedom 106.5, so I do talk radio there as well too.
yeah.
So I
Okay,
work on
okay,
2 stations there.
nice.
I started back DJing a lot. It was my first love, DJing. I'm active
Yeah,
DJ again in the more mature, old school kind of market. I
yeah,
DJing a lot. I have a business, of course, business. I have a business. I'm
yeah.
still, well, I'm even though I'm put myself out of the artistry. There is an artist that I'm looking at, a female
Okay.
artist. I
Hmm.
believe she could be the next big thing because I've always been looking for that. I like working with females,
Yeah.
um, you know. I've always been looking for that next
Why I like working with
next
females? Why I like working with females?
um they listen, they listen more, they're easier to work with. I like to
Yeah.
write for example, I don't know, just something I wrote the Jamet for Denise Belfort. I the
Really?
Jamet. Right?
Serious?
Yeah, I wrote the
Uh,
Jamet, yeah. So I don't know, I love writing them kind of things. So I've always
yeah.
been looking for an next
uh,
Denise Belfort, next Deshta, and next thing I
yeah.
was close with Undilate, Unika Bostic as well
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
You know. So I'm always been looking for that next female, and I think I found someone. So you'll be hearing about us. Yeah.
All right. Nice. So who again you wrote for some of the songs you've written in the past?
Well, I co-wrote on Rocky Carnival Bacchanal. There's a song called Hold On, Singing Sandra. We could Singing Sandra. I worked
Yeah.
also with there was a time with Super Blue, Eddie Charles, a lot of the older artists back in those
Yeah.
90s and stuff coming up. I used to work on a lot of rhythms, like rhythms. I was
Yeah.
like the rhythm boss at one point in time. But that
Yeah.
rhythm with the same Jamet and Benjai, I fed up about the same thing
Yeah.
over and over. I
Yeah.
was the guy actually responsible for getting artists on rhythms, the best rhythm, rumba rhythm, Douglas
Yeah.
rhythm, some of those early rhythms,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was yeah.
Wow. Wow. Well, Baseman, I just want to say thanks for all the contributions to the culture over the years. You're definitely in my book one of
Mm,
the legends that a lot of
yeah.
time, like I said, we pretty much around the same age bracket. And one of the reasons why I really kind of started this podcast, being around for a while, you hear these stories and then you
Mm,
realize, you look at the landscape and like a lot of people don't know certain things. They need to know these stories. I mean, they really need to know the people
yeah,
who've
man.
been there, done that, and how things are the way it is now. So
Yeah,
that
yeah.
means, yeah, man. I just want to say thank you, and keep doing your thing, man. I know you're still retired, but I know you're gonna pick with that pen and put on something. Maybe taking a break. I look at it as a break. You're taking a break, but I know some coming sometime in the future. So any last
Yeah,
things,
bro.
man? Any last word for your fans? Anything, messages and so forth. You want to leave? Say before
Yeah,
you leave.
man. Well, people just thanks a lot of appreciate the music. I know outside there, a lot of people tend to appreciate the culture a little more than home here.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe the whole of Trinidad need to take a trip outside and see how it is.
yeah,
Sometimes a king is never a king in his own castle. I wish when you go outside there, every corner you turn, you hear a little soca, you hear thing playing. People love the culture, that kind of thing.
yeah,
We here tend to take what we have for granted, and I
yeah,
wish we stop taking what we have for granted or carnival for granted in terms of not just the music but the whole culture. I believe Trinidad should be the island of carnival 365 days a year. That's why every time you land here, some kind of carnival activity should be happening. That's what we should sell ourselves. You see, like how Las Vegas is Sin City,
yeah,
Trinidad should be Carnival Island. That's
yeah,
tourism. And Tobago, the place to go to relax. But
yeah.
oh man, mm, you know,
Well said, man. That's true. Totally agree. Totally agree.
mm,
Well, baseman, much
yeah,
appreciation, and keep doing your thing, man. And
yeah,
with
man.
that,
Thanks a lot, bro.
yeah. Also, how people
Yeah,
can
man.
follow you on social media and find your music? I totally forgot about that. How people can
Oh
follow
yeah,
you on
yeah. Well,
find you?
yeah. On social media, on Instagram, I'm at BASS. That's BASS TNT 3000. I'm on
Mm-hmm.
TikTok at B Bass Trini TNT. The music is up there on YouTube. Just type in BASS, name of the song. Well, bass for one time I was going at bass, aka Trilogy, which stands
Yeah,
for the three things that I do, the artist, DJ, announcer. Right?
yeah.
So yeah, the music is out there, man. Get the classics, get the hits. Yeah.
Yes, I. All right, boss. Well, give thanks,
Yeah.
man, and catch up.
Thanks for reaching out, man. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Yes, man. Respect.
Yeah, man.
All right. Yes, that was the man himself, Mr. Bass. So make sure to follow him on all social media platform. Once again, thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning the Alonzo Bash podcast. Of course, make sure to follow me on all social media platform at Alonzo Bash. And of course, if you want to support the show, it's Cash App at Alonzo Bash. All right. So once again, catch you guys on the next episode. Stay safe.